In an 18th floor meeting room in the heart of Sydney's central business district, some cutthroat competitors are acting out of character.
Welcome to the island of Newco. We're just here interviewing a group of new arrivals.
These people are shopkeepers, opponents in the dog-eat-dog world of computer retailing.
What is it about Island Newco that you enjoy working here?
Oh, it's the fabulous structured hours. It's the wonderful white gloves, the lovely uniform we have.
Well, before I hop the twig,
Today, instead of beating each other in business, it's bonding exercises.
And tell me, what is it that you'll be doing on Newco? How can it help you?
Well, it depends if there's any old blokes with Viagra here, but...
One of the great things here in Newco is that everyone is an owner. There are no employees. There's no stupid people. There's no one between the age of 16 to 30. We've shipped those off to a new planet to develop a brain.
It's all part of their ambitious plan to join forces and transform their corner stores into a share market listed corporate powerhouse.
Shake it until there's cotton wool in your palms. Yeah, good. Oh, I got it. And when it's in there, just put it down.
The story begins in May of the year 2000. It's the beginning of the end of the internet boom. The E&IT businesses that had been raising millions on the stock market with little more than a name and a sales pitch have started to crash and burn. After the promises of limitless growth, the worldwide infatuation with technology companies is starting to fade. But the dream isn't over for everyone. Craig Rispin is a senior employee at this Apple computer business in Sydney. He's seen turnover increase from $3 million to $30 million in just 5 years.
I looked at these internet businesses that were raising hundreds of millions of dollars, and what were they based on? Well, the hope of future profits. And I thought we had a lot more to offer. We had established business with history, we had profits in the business, and we sold a great brand, Apple Computer. So I thought, why shouldn't we list?
But knowing that this business on its own is just too small to excite the investors, Craig has come up with a plan. Today, the owners of 7 Apple computer dealerships from all over the country have gathered to hear it. Together, these people account for a major percentage of Apple's business in Australia. Their companies range from 8-store chains to large single outlets, from pure retail to specialist professional.
This is a big deal. Individually, you might think that we're small, independent operators trying to struggle to grow a business, but together, we can be one of the biggest companies in Australia. And in exchange for being in this massive, publicly listed company, we're all going to have to give up some control.
They say, oh my God, we've got to speak to Australia.
In Craig's plan, these natural corporate enemies would surrender their businesses to a new merged entity.
What are the areas?
Owners would become shareholders, working together to build a major corporation. When it comes time to float on the stock exchange, they can sell some of their shares and potentially make some serious money.
And I think that what we should do is just start up by putting on the board what our turnovers are combined, real turnovers, not pie in the sky.
I think that probably no one in this room is willing to divulge every single business secret that we've got.
I understand that you say you won't reveal, and I'm not asking you to reveal here today, your key strategies for putting us out of business. What I want to do is figure out what the key strategies are for us to continue together as a business. So I don't even want to know your secrets. What I want to know is the
There were very different reactions to that around the table. Some of the people in the group were very conservative, and there are other people who were just big boys, wanting to play with big numbers. It was an exciting day, and some of the numbers that people were banding around were absolute Disneyland numbers. We've really got to focus on the real businesses that generate real revenue and get that right. And then we can then go to the public with some pie-in-the-sky meaningless e-commerce promise if we want. But the real value is these giant industrial strength cash registers that we've got. Like it's going to spit out $200 million a year. Cash. Satisfied.
If they go ahead, the group will need a corporate finance specialist to guide them through to the float. Several firms have already been briefed. Now it's the turn of one of the biggest in the business to give some feedback.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you this afternoon. Stuart Bright and Neil McDermott, we're both directors from Arthur Andersen Corporate Finance in Sydney. There is not a lot of value in being listed on the ASX if you are at the dog end of the spectrum, because at the end of the day you don't get the liquidity, you don't get the interest from investors and everything else. You really need to look at creating a quality listed entity. And you have a minute-by-minute scorecard. You have the share price. It moves every day, so it's great while it's going up, and then you have a bit of an issue when it comes down. And when it's going against you, it means that some of the benefits of being listed aren't there. It's very important that a lot of attention is played to the ongoing stable management, stable growth and everything else of the company. But from the market offering, we would say that you will be attractive.
And we had 3 different types of presentations, for a bigger company, a smaller company and sort of a boutique company. Arthur Andersen were chosen for a number of reasons. They were a big company, but also they were willing to work for a success fee. That had to come into it, because otherwise we would have had to have found a lot of money up front.
I hope you take away from the presentations today that we're not talking about an incidental business here. I'm not surprised that Arthur Andersen wants to work with us.
I don't believe there needs to be anyone else involved.
Yeah?
One of the reasons we're all here is because we're not only the biggest, but we're also all the fastest growing. As Craig said, something's putting in triple-digit growth. We don't need a whole bunch of also-rans to muddy the waters and confuse it. So that might sound a bit tough.
Robert said, well, what's your feeling? And I said, I just want to step away. I want to leave now. I just had a gut-level repulsed response initially, which was why I never said anything at all to anybody except Robert.
Of course, you think that these sort of opportunities come along once in a lifetime, and would I be a fool for giving this up? Is on one hand, and the other hand, I know we both thought, well, gee, what if we decided to not join the group and have them against us? That was definitely weighing on the other side. I mean, all of a sudden we're trying to fight an exchange-funded monster company, who's out to get us because we didn't want to join them.
If there's anybody around the table that's unsure or is not interested in proceeding, I think that you should excuse yourselves now. So hands up anybody who's out or unsure. So we're all in and sure that we want to go through this process. Is that correct? Great. Okay.
In the course of a single meeting, these people have made a life-changing commitment. They will be entrusting most of their worldly goods to a group of people they hardly know, each other. And it all has to happen in a hurry. They've given themselves just 6 months to get from here to the stock exchange.
I thought, this internet boom can't continue forever, and I know it's going to have a correction, so we've got to get there sooner than later. So I think I annoyed a lot of people by saying, we've got to move faster. We've got to move faster. Faster, faster, faster.
Arthur Andersen said, if you don't float by November, no one floats in December, no one floats in January, very few people float in February, you'll have to wait till March. Everyone in the room was very, very unwilling to wait till March, and everyone was pushing for November.
I thought it'd be a very tough ask, quite frankly, to happen by November. But I looked around the table and saw, well, there's a huge number of people here working on it. I have seen things come together in a very short time frame. Everything would have to fall into place pretty well as expected for it to happen.
Before, they were trying to put each other out of business. Now, they want to make each other rich. Or so it seems. Not everyone here is working to the same agenda.
So at the end of day one, I came out of that meeting and I thought, these guys are all mad. They really think they're going to sell this business for $100 million. And I was very happy. I thought, this is exactly the environment I need to sell my business.
The search for a company name has already begun.
You're in a unique position to hitch your wagon, as it were, to one of the very few brands in the world that customers are in love with.
The ad agencies are eager to be there at the birth of a major corporation.
My mate is my colleague, it's my friend, it's my frustration, and it's my joy. We are so passionate about this brand, and I need to show you what it feels like. And it feels like discarding old ideas. It feels like, if you don't buy this concept, I will keep on going. This is...
All the other companies either align with a company outside,
but it's local celebrity Simon Reynolds of the Love Agency who pushes the right buttons.
We only do E&IT, that's it. We are e-brand specialists. We feel that most marketing companies don't understand tech. You know, they end up doing these peripherally shallow examples of advertising, whereas what they really should be doing is getting in-depth and really understanding what you're about. I've loved Apple in a way that may make you not want to give us a business. I've driven to in Silicon Valley and had my photo, I hope I've still got it, in case you asked for it, photo taken outside, standing next to Steve Jobs' Mercedes.
This silly old thing doesn't work very well anyway. It doesn't add up either.
Love won the day, largely because of Simon Reynolds. We wanted to see if we could leverage off Simon Reynolds' media profile to grow our own profile.
The first task for the group's advisors, Arthur Anderson Corporate Finance, has been to determine the delicate matter of the valuations. Who gets what slice of the pie?
The allocation of value is enormously subjective, and I'll say that up front. You know, as we've gone around, I mean, we've been very enthusiastic about what we've seen, and you know, every business is bringing something different. So it's hard to, you know, say that, you know, party A is bringing A and it's worth something extra, and party B is bringing something but it's not quite worth as much. It's very subjective.
And I knew that that was going to be the make or break situation. Somebody could see on a piece of paper how much they were worth, a percentage of the overall pie. But each percentage point might mean $1 million. So 1 point could mean a lot.
So I guess we'd like to open up for discussion.
Now, a status graph, you can bet your bottom dollar I'm not happy that we've got 10% of the sales, 10% of the gross margin, and we go down to 4% of the assessed value.
Yes, no, but what we're saying is $1 of gross margin in a bigger business is worth more than $1 of margin in a smaller business because of cost structures.
But I guess I'm just at a loss how the status graph can go from, depends on your weighting, from 9 or 10 down to we lose half our value because of subjective opinions. I can't see anyone else there that's even changed by less than 3 or 4%.
Because it's an issue of scale.
I don't understand that.
The real question is, have you got many offers that are worth a lot more than this offer?
Just a little bit shocked, that's all. And shocked to the tune of $4 million, so I'm allowed to be a bit pissed off.
Being the smallest person, I'm probably penalised more than anybody, okay? I still recognise that I will be far better off under this than I could ever be in my wildest dreams.
I think meeting about number 3 or 4, I started to realise that there was, an opportunity for me to achieve my lifelong goal, and that was to pay off my house, to help my kids out, and to buy a holiday unit in Port Macquarie. And that was the only objectives that I had, was really to have some financial security.
Because if you went away to try and sell Status Graph, or I went away to try to sell Manning, or anybody else around the table, you would, if you do the sums on this, you would...
So when I saw dollars being mentioned, even as only a 4% shareholder, I was really enthusiastic about it, and that made me want to do it even more.
We're absolutely happy with it. We think there's ups and downs and swings and roundabouts, and so on every point we might need a tick, but they all balance out. And we just want to make it clear to everyone that we're completely comfortable with what our friends have come up with and all their judgments.
So there may be a little bit of in and out around the corner here, but in principle, the thing's still on its way.
Yeah.
Right, so there's no big dissension. No. Sorry, I just want to get that in my mind.
One of the things that was always going to be tough was the fact that we were merging 7 businesses pretty much owned by individuals who were essentially selling their babies. And there's a huge emotional commitment to those businesses there. It's really asking someone to sell, an asset that they really don't know what it's worth, and they have an emotional attachment to it, and they typically think it's worth more than it is.
Today is, I think, a day when I'm asking you to work hard, really, because I'm just going to ask, in its simplest form, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions, really. And
the brand experts from Love have called the owners together for a naming day.
I suppose the whole point of synthesis, isn't it, is we're actually trying to have a conversation or a story, which in fact we put simplistically 7 brains into one, isn't it?
It's a workshop for the group to get closer to what their proposed company should be.
I don't care where it comes from, really. We're just, there's a session of consciousness at different points this afternoon. It's going to ask you to grab names. I don't care where they come from. Just a reminder, what we're searching for here is a master brand. It's the name which is going to be on your building. Whatever the conversation has moved you to think might be an interesting name for the company at this minute.
Pink.
Pink.
Complete.
Complete. Juice.
Rainbow.
Rainbow. Skyline.
Oxygen.
Oxygen.
Bazooka.
Bazooka. Rush. B-A-Z-O-O-K-A. Bazooka.
Lion roars.
Lion roars.
The owners have known each other for years as competitors. This may be their first chance to get a good look at each other as partners.
My affectionate nickname is Moose in the family.
It's true.
The kids call me Moose, my wife. I've added my own little saying, if you want something different, do something different.
My job description at Design-Wise is a really tricky one. I tend to be the clean-up crew. I follow Robert around as he's got these harebrained ideas and he's heading out. And I'm running behind him saying, well, who's taking care of this? Who's taking care of that? What are you doing about this? What are you doing about that? And he's like, fix it! And in worst case, come on, guys, head trouble off at the class.
I don't know if you call it passion, but I am passionate about a level of moral standard in our business. I don't agree with the way that some people in the computer industry screw over their customers. I think that if we can't do the right thing in society, then we shouldn't do it at all. And I guess that's fairly moralistic, but it's the way I live my life.
The moral standard thing, just when you finished on... I
was quite pleased to see that everybody had similar good values for what they wanted for the company going forward. There was a lot of integrity and a sense of style and forward modern thought.
I want you to find just a snappy phrase which sums up the energy you want to bring to this company. I want you to do it with a movement. A movement, whatever the movement is. Follow me! That's good.
Bring warmth.
Whoosh.
Whoosh. Absolutely flat out. Our mine is you can't cross the chasm in 2 small steps.
That's good.
Very good.
So, leave for the stars. You might be lucky enough to grab one.
Let's hit them out of the park. Congratulate yourselves.
I'm affectionately known as the Smiling Assassin.
Just a bit more on the Smiling Assassin. Dig into that for a minute.
I have no idea. I feel I'm a bit of a dreamer, but understanding that as a successful person, you are different than a lot of other people.
Thanks, George.
It was all a lot of fun, so you had a little chuckle at some of the things that people said, but some of the things that people said about themselves came to be true later on in the process.
What I'm called behind my back is actually probably better described by the actual action of what goes on behind my back. And I think it's one of a great sigh. It's like, oh, thank God he's finally gone. Some would say he's out there, he's psycho, aggressive, intense. My schoolmates and my band friends call me the Big Red Rapper. I'm the lead singer of a band and obviously have a red face. But a hard bastard would have been mentioned at some time, but also a lunatic at some stage. I'm a winner. I've won every single thing I've ever done in my life. I've never lost, and I never ever accept losing. If I've lost a battle, I've never lost the war. So I'll continue to fight until I win. That's a mentality that Adam and I share very, very strongly. Particularly in business, we believe coming second there is no second. You either win the deal or you don't win the deal. And as you grow larger and larger, that becomes more and more important. So that's certainly, I think, group things, particularly at a time when time is of the essence, is not the most efficient way to do things. I did think that was a bit of a waste of time for me. I've got other things to do.
Okay, so I'm actually acutely lacking in self-confidence. Always have been, and I make up for that through speaking loudly and through sheer raw aggression.
Your passion.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
your personal passion.
Yeah, my personal passion has really only developed in the last couple of years, and it's frankly surprised me. My personal passion has been a father.
Just a moment or more on that. Why has that become an overarching personal passion?
My dad passed away just when my daughter was born.
The owners may be starting to let their guards down just a little, but their agendas remain in the shadows.
I would frequently be saying to Robert, look, there are a lot of subplots here that we're unaware of. I don't know what they are. All I can tell you is that they're there. They're happening.
Quick name drop of that energy. What a Whoosh. Cool connections. Insanely great. Esteem. Surprise. INTA.
G. One more dealer.
Oh, Intergate. A few final names. Come on. Fast. We're the Fast Company. Hoon.
Another company.
Accelerate. What's that? Propel. Piranha. How do you spell that?
Piranha.
Probably drying up now. I want everyone just to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes max, perusing all those names.
Finding a name that reflects the positive spirit of today's meeting will prove quite easy. Maintaining the positive spirit will prove a lot harder. Already, one of the groups has met privately with the advisors from Arthur Andersen. They've threatened to walk if their percentage of the pie isn't increased. The fun and games have only just begun.
We'll go in any order that anyone wants to start.
I really like Leap. I like the way we came up with the word. It means a whole lot about us as a business.
Whoosh is a word picture. It's therefore more memorable. From my Silicon Valley, West Coast new economy point of view.
You say it once to someone and they're not going to forget that you're a company called Whoosh. And as you say, compared to your competitors, it's just a real standout.
Yeah. What I like a lot about it is it actually lends us to so many different themes. Okay, there's the speed of computers, the speed of delivery, the speed of our service, the whole enthusiasm, there's the whole the intensity behind it, which is new economy and which is the computer industry.
I'm hearing the room say that we want to investigate Whoosh more deeply from a legal and design point of view to see where we sit on that.
I would have thought that it's a job for you guys as agency in the game to investigate the trademarks as opposed to one of our people. Yeah. The first thing you guys do is go and check out Whoosh, the trademarks, all the different things you need to make that brand sing.
Yeah, you can do that. So we're happy to do the trademark search.
In 5 minutes it could be gone.
Yeah. We can attempt to do that. You can attempt.
Someone should do it tonight.
Okay. Well, it's 6 o'clock. I think we've actually achieved our objective. So that's so well done, everybody. Okay. Well, time you all whooshed off. Let's whoosh on to our action points. Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Everyone was very open and frank and honest, saying we're now going to have to work as partners. We are going to be partners, so we have to work together, put our ambitions and egos to one side to make this one merged group work and work well. Didn't happen.
Next week on Going Public, the search for a name heats up.
Every name that's come up pretty much so far has been from us through a series of games we played to invoke thought, but not really from a scientific point of view of getting names on the table. And ultimately, if we pay $5,000 for that, I'm happy, because it's a $5,000 process. But to pay 50 is an absolute shitload.
The agendas begin to emerge.
A is for abomination.
And the deal gets pushed to the brink.
All the little agendas are starting to surface and we want them out on the table.
Just all of a sudden, greed's become the prime motivator.
False numbers. Yeah. We're dead accurate.
This is highly unprofessional.
Because they're not going to move unless they think that there's some risk. They think there's no risk right now.
Well, let's take it to head then. This is my object. It appears to have all those ingredients that Nuco would have.
I have an object. That's what we're going to be in 10 years' time, which is the front page of the Asian Wall Street Journal.
The other cool thing about the duck is that they have a hole in the bottom. So if they fill it with too much water and have too much baggage, you can simply pick them up and squeeze it out. And so it's a reminder to our company, if we ever get too full, we at some stage need to give it a good squeeze.
The Chinese god of war, at the same time, is also the Chinese god of wisdom as well.
It's my instinctive reaction to a decision. Let's have a bottle of wine. I'll get the corkscrew.
2 ducks.
Stop. He only does it 3 times.
We have a little gift for each of you that we'd like to give you now. Robert has that. And for most of you, we also have something else. This constitutes putting that pen that Robert showed you to good use. So, Robert, if you'll do that, I'll do this.
Open one and try it as part of the experience.